Hello and welcome back to Murder and Mythology. I am your host, Smog, and today I am joined by my boyfriend, Booza.
Cheese.
One of our friends, Tofu.
Hi!
Her fiance, Russian.
You say it like it's a question.
For a little bit of background, I chose the story, the Oresteia, for this episode. However, I was initially inspired by a piece of artwork that I saw at a museum not too long ago, and the piece was called The Medusa Marinera by Vic Muniz. He was inspired by Leonardo da Vinci's Medusa shield painting, and he created a piece that was made out of spaghetti sauce, and it was really, really cool to look at. I highly suggest looking at it one day. But moving on, Greek mythology and food, they go hand in hand often. So from sacrifices to celebration, there was always a need for food or a feast. This same rule applied to the game that we played. Because there was so much audio to record, I had to cut out our character selection, but my boyfriend Booza was Agamemnon, who was the king of Mycenae, and the king's son, Orestes. Tofu was Clytemnestra, Agamemnon's wife, and Apollo, who was a god, and Russian was Cassandra, who was a prisoner of war for Agamemnon, and he was also Electra, which was Agamemnon's daughter. As a bit of a side note, I would like to mention that there were some people who were a little bit jealous of Tofu getting Apollo, and here's the recording of that.
That's OP.
More.
We're done. That's OP. We're screwed.
A war criminal and someone who works at Subway got it.
Yeah, say, I have a dad that's a general and abandoned son. Understood.
You're the king, so you get to choose who your people are.
Rats.
He has all the cheese.
Yes. Our weaponry is cheese-based.
Oh,
So these are your people, alright? From now on, these are going to be
Absolutely.
your people.
Look at
Okay.
that beautiful civilian line.
So, Agamemnon, Booza,
Hi.
on your sailing journey, you look to the gods and ask for help when all of a sudden Artemis, the goddess of the wilderness, says to you, sacrifice your daughter, Iphigenia, to catch enough wind in your sails and a safe journey home. Your ship is running out of food quickly, and the sea is only getting more and more dangerous to sail on. The food you currently have is only instant mashed potatoes, tomato soup, and old raisins. What do you do?
Let's just take a look at my crew. Are they all soldiers? Are they all sailors? I want to get some background on
It's
on my people.
It's only the few soldiers that made it out alive.
Okay, so we're pretty battle worn, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
it was the father-daughter bonding trip, like bring your kid to
Yes.
Yeah,
You got your ass.
Yes.
Yes, essentially that was what happened.
So they said, what do they say in specific? I have to sacrifice who?
You have to sacrifice your daughter, Iphigenia.
I want to take the most battle-ridden soldier. I want him to basically sacrifice himself, throw all his clothing on the floor, his weapons and things, and throw himself over. Scratch the sacrifice part. He stays on board, but he gets completely, he's stripped.
Okay, hold on. I gotta draw out this real quick. Okay, so we have a boat, your daughter, and then you are here as well. And then we have this battle-ridden soldier over here. We're gonna put little bloodshot eyes in him. Okay.
Awesome.
So
Okay.
we have a battle-ridden soldier right here, and then we have you, and then your daughter. You're going to sacrifice this guy, pretending that it's your daughter.
Correct. And then we'll sacrifice my daughter on our later date. But for now,
Okay, so you're choosing to sacrifice this dude, trying to convince the gods that it's not actually your daughter. Or that it's your
trying
daughter.
to-
That it's your daughter.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm ready for that nat one.
It fails. It fails, and the gods are very, very angry at you for trying to sacrifice this dude, so he actually becomes immortal.
Great. He's more than welcome back in the ship then.
He becomes immortal, and he eats all of your instant mashed potatoes, tomato soup, and old raisins.
Immortality.
Fair enough.
Mr. Immortal has disappeared out of nowhere as well. Your daughter has fallen in love. He very much likes your daughter. So
Right.
much so that
Oh
they
no.
go on a date on the
But
boat. It was some wine and crackers. The next next thing you know, this dude disappears. And your daughter gets outrageously ill and dies. So, moving on. Clytemnestra.
Hooray.
Tofu. While you were waiting for your husband's return, you were bored all the time and you did not have much to do. Every day it was wake up, order a few servants around, be fed some grapes, and eat some lobster. Truly, a boring life without a husband to tie you down. However, a few days have occurred when you were visited by his cousin, Agathias, and his son. You felt happy around him. What do you decide to do?
I'd be a gracious host.
After talking to Agathias for a little while, you realize that you do not like Agamemnon anymore. You hate him, in fact, and you want him dead. So, you have a few affairs with Agathias, and you plot your husband's death.
So, one day, a tired and out-of-breath herald comes to Mycenae and begins a long rant on the war. The herald says,
Gosh, that was horrible. There was plague-like lice. I had to live off instant mashed potatoes and the weather.
You get tired of the complaining. What do you do?
I'll go with throwing him into a dungeon.
You are told by one of your guards that the herald is about to tell you that your husband is coming home, and the kingdom will also frown on your decision and be weary of the truth. The watchman says that Agamemnon is coming home to all the people, and they finally are like, oh, okay, well listen now. To prepare for her husband's return, she decides to throw a feast in celebration of his return in Troy's fall. However, you discover that your daughter was sacrificed upon his return, and now there is a very beautiful woman, Cassandra, and she was cursed with seeing the future, is sitting beside him as he returns. Clytemnestra believes that her husband has cheated on her. What do you do?
I can see the future.
Future.
I just rolled
At this feast, I could have the watchman announce that he's bringing a witch home and turn the town against him.
It works! And everyone is starting to get a little bit more suspicious toward the king and does not really want to be around him as much.
Great.
So
I gave you all cheese and this is how you treat me?
for the feast, it has been prepared with grape juice, bread, sacrificed lamb, and other items. Its favorite, mashed potatoes. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about Cassandra. As you are coming in on the ship with Agamemnon, are there any actions you would like to commit to?
I can tell the people that I foresee a great cheese harvest in the near future.
Yes! Finally!
It worked! What you did was really good for the king, but you're still getting bashed on because everyone thinks you're a witch.
That's okay.
At least you beat one allegation.
Agamemnon discovers that Agathias has been around the family more often than normal, and believes that Clytemnestra has cheated on him, so he seeks revenge. What do you do?
Okay, I would like to pull Cassandra aside and consult and ask if these accusations are true.
Cassandra doesn't really know what to tell you because she doesn't want to be killed. But she ends up just telling the truth and saying, yes, the accusations are true. So because you are in such a fit of anger, you grab Agathias.
Man, I like you. You're literally family.
Then you take little Timmy. Agathias goes away, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And you end up saying to little Timmy, I'm gonna kill you. And
yeah, that sounds about right.
Then the people of Mycenae, they come up to little Timmy right here, and they just start going to town on him and like ripping him to pieces. And then you decide it's a great idea to turn him into a meal for Agathias to eat. Yes.
I was feeding little Timmy to people, hell yeah!
I agree. I genuinely agree. I don't even need to roll the dice with this one.
Yeah, this is a canon event.
Perfect.
So yeah, Agathias, he starts eating this lovely meal that you've put together, and he ends up vomiting, and then he gets sick. And Russian, you are Cassandra, and You are currently still sitting at the feast because you just don't really want to be a part of what's going on right now. You don't want to be a part of the current death of little Timmy and all of this stuff. So you're just sitting here, you're eating your grape, you're drinking your grape juice, having your bowl of butter. You have the option to do just about whatever you want to do right now.
You know what? I would like to see the future of the next 3 days of how this is all going to play out, of me being here.
It worked! You foresee an unfortunate event, and you also find out about the curse of the palace. And you can tell something is going to happen to Agamemnon in the near future. And you feel as though Clytemnestra and her lover might be behind this. What do they do? So the crowd starts to riot and running toward the palace, and you're starting to see some really big issues going on. For you decide you want to start going on a killing spree before you die. So you kind of just kill a few mice on your way to the palace with everyone else. Clytemnestra, you're currently in the palace with Agamemnon. Something is about to happen that's really, really bad, but you really want your revenge on Agamemnon, and you really, really want to kill Cassandra as well. How do you do this?
I run to my lover and I tell him now is the time that he should avenge his child's death, little Timmy, because I know that my husband is sitting there ignoring the riot that is happening, so this would be the perfect moment for him. While I try and handle getting to Cassandra to kill her.
Gatheus misunderstands every single word that you just said. No, he charges right into the mob. And he died. You were able to successfully kill your husband.
At least there's mashed potatoes and cheese in heaven.
She slipped and fell and magically landed on you. The riot turned against you, by the way, at some point, and you were ripped to pieces.
They found out I lied about the cheese.
So, yeah, now, Clytemnestra, you're standing here with the dead body of your previous husband now. And Electra is standing there, your daughter. So a few months go by, and your mother then wakes up one night screaming. She says that she had a dream about birthing a snake and immediately sends you and a few other servants to your father's grave to sacrifice his favorite food, mashed potatoes and cheese.
What do? I sacrifice the mashed potatoes to get on with my life.
What happens is, upon your journey to your father's grave, you come across a man who seems familiar. However, this man is in dark clothing and has a long beard. You try to recognize him, but your effort is futile. You keep walking.
Oh, well, never mind. I didn't feel like it anyways.
Finally, you end up reaching your father's grave. And you notice that there's someone standing there. It's that same man with the long beard. You figure out it's your brother! It's Orestes!
Can't wait to see what this lunatic wants.
Orestes, you have come back home on a mission to kill your mother.
Greetings!
After hearing about your father's murder. Because in Greek mythology, it was like this thing where you should not kill anyone in your family at all for any reason. You are sitting there and your sister's there flopping mashed potatoes on your father's grave. Do you share this information with your sister?
I pull out a block of cheese and I go up to my sister and explain that I want to kill her mother.
I hope you die.
So your sister is mildly confused at the fact that you brought a whole block of cheese with you everywhere.
Do not question my methods, sister.
But she also kind of understands because it's what father would have done. Both journey back home after delivering the sacrifice of mashed potatoes to your father's grave. Now, with Apollo's guide, you come up with a plan to kill Clytemnestra and her lover. What is the plan?
Poison the cheese.
Cheese wheel becomes giant, like huge, instead of poisoned.
This can be used to our advantage, sister.
Apollo, we must seek your help once again. We have to find a way to kill Clytemnestra that will work.
Well, since she's been having these nightmares, we could devise a plan where she's convinced that she's haunted and ends up giving her a heart attack and kills her that way.
You two are going on your adventure back home to Mumsy. Her mom, she doesn't remember what Orestes looked like, and Electra's like, oh, it's one of my best friends. He really needs a place to stay for the night or whatever. And she's like, okay, whatever. So then you guys do your Jedi mind trick crap on her. And she starts going mentally insane. Suddenly, Orestes, he starts getting regretful because he just killed his mother. And he has his wheel of cheese. And now, Apollo, what do you decide to do?
Well, I decide I won't take out full vengeance on him. However, all the cheese tastes like dirt to him.
And it fails. He ends up loving his cheese just as much as he did before, and actually a little bit more now. But because of the fact that he still needs to be tortured, he is put with the Furies for eternity, so he is always going to be in misery. It's not going to be as bad because he has his cheese. So, Electra, your mother is dead. Orestes has gone away again. And you now are the only person who can rule Mycenae. What do you do?
Okay, for starters, we're taking care of the potatoes everywhere. I'm tired of that. And we're tearing down the castle and rebuilding it.
You are now living happily ever after on your own.
I don't need no man.
This is the end, and I hope it was enjoyed. Do you guys enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more of it, things like this, I highly suggest checking out the channel for Dan Plan. He does a lot of videos like this, and also maybe I'll keep doing this. So have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye. As an added bonus, here's a clip of my favorite portion of the video.
You don't want to be a part of the current death of little Timmy and all of this stuff. So you're just sitting here, you're eating your grape, you're drinking your grape juice, having your bowl of butter, and yeah. So
Yes, the finest of cuisines. Solid butter with Vulture's grape juice. I can't believe it's not butter.
I think this is a plot right here where you literally go clinically insane because it's not butter. It's literally Family Guy reference.
I have diabetes, yes.
Cassandra, you have the option to do just about whatever you want to do right now. You're currently feasting, you have the ability to see the future, you're around a bunch of rats.